Right. Thank you coming on. We're going to do a video. You've seen that I've got these little podcast things that we're doing called From the Outside Looking In. And even though you are somebody that I don't actually know, you're what we call a random, like on our in the UK, somebody on our Facebook that we don't know, but it's just ended up on my Facebook for ages. You're what we call a random, and you are a random from America. That I don't even know how you ended up. I don't even know. I think I got added to a political American group, and from there,
Yeah.
a few people have ended up on my Facebook, and we sort of have a bit of a laugh with each other about America and Britain and music and who's the greatest MC alive and things like this. And
Yeah.
yeah, you've been on my Facebook probably a few years now. Without time flies so fast that you've been on for a few years. You're quite like the stuff you post is quite similar to what I post, as in that you don't really come across you don't take much seriously, and you sort of like to ask these sort of questions that are going to ruffle some feathers, and it's amusing to watch. Do you know what I mean? And you're quite a funny guy, and you're a successful guy in your business. You're a realtor. I think we call it an estate agent, but
Yeah.
and then the reason sort of you've agreed to come, and I'll just explain it for anybody that's watching, is that we've said for a while, because of the stuff that we talk about, we talk about like homelessness and the fact that me and the other guy that can't do it at the moment, we was in a lot of trouble when we was younger, and we call it From the Outside Looking In because that's what it feels like sometimes, mental state. And we've always said that we were going to do a mental health one. We're going to do a few mental health ones, but then you've agreed to come on because you posted a video maybe a month or so ago, would it have been?
Yeah.
And
It was August 11th.
August the 11th, you know the date, and it was basically a video that sort of surprised a lot of people that follow you on Facebook, myself included, because you was talking about how you'd pretty much just almost committed suicide, and in the video you were visibly upset, which again isn't something that I was used to seeing from you, and it was a very serious thing. And yeah, after to you about it once you'd sort of got your head together kind of thing, and it was clear that you were okay, you've agreed to come on and talk about it, which is great, because I did check. It's the same in the UK. In the UK, suicide amongst men is the biggest killer that there is. It's our number one killer for you. I think it's our number one killer for men under 45 in the UK is suicide. In America, the numbers are huge as well, and men are 3 times more likely than women to commit suicide. A lot of times they think that it's underreported, and actually suicide's got so bad in America for men that there's been a drop in the life expectancy. So it's good that you're coming on, and I was just going to ask you if you wouldn't mind explaining in your own words what happened that day.
Man, that day was a culmination of losses, man. I felt like it was just the last straw. What happened was, I started another business. I'm a real estate agent,
Yeah,
and I started a car transportation business. Pretty much, I'll transport a car from point A to point B for some money, or I'll find a junk car and take parts off of it that I need, and I'll sell the junk car to a junkyard. Um, I started that business. I was trying to get my feet wet. But July for me, I had 3 real estate deals fall apart. Me and my mom were staying together. I was taking care of her, and then we got into it, and now she's not speaking to me. Uh, the 3 real estate deals, I stood to make $25,000 off that month. It did not come through. My children are with their grandmother. Um, my lady is with her mom, so she's with the kids. So the kids are safe and they're well taken care of. But I'm kind of just out here, a nomad. I'm kind of couch surfing. I'm 40 years old, man. I'm
yeah,
too old to be doing. You know what I mean? But it's just the situation I'm in. After me and my mom got into it, it kind of threw me into a tailspin, man. Started thinking about family. So what happened that particular day? Um, I was at Walmart. I had agreed to pick up a car from a guy. Now, usually we have to pay for these cars up front. We give them money. We get more money at the junkyard for them. This particular guy just knocked on his door. I saw the car there every day. I was taking my kid to school. My truck broke down August the 9th, which happened to be the first day of school. So I dropped my 13-year-old at school. The truck didn't start. I got my buddy out there. We changed the starter on it. It started. And so I thought I was good to pick up a car on August 11th when I knocked on that door. That was a cool $400 or $500 that I sorely and desperately needed at the time, because my girl was pretty much footing everything for the kids. And like I said, the previous month, I had planned on getting 25 grand. So I sank most of that into my truck, into buying a trailer, into kind of switching over to another business, because I need to have multiple streams of income. When the bottom fell out of July, it trailed into August. I went to Walmart to buy some jumper cables. I came back out, the truck didn't start. I didn't know the problem with the truck. It just did not start. It didn't start. I thought I solved the problem 2 days before, and it just seemed like I was taking loss after loss after loss after loss. July piled up into August. I felt like a failure, bro. Like I felt like I couldn't do my kids justice. I felt like I couldn't do my girl justice. I felt like I just felt useless. And some of the words my mom would say to me, when we got into the argument, she called me useless. She called me a few other names. All that started cascading down on me. And I felt like the walls were closing in. And no example is better than a failing example for my children. I didn't want them seeing dad because they see me as Superman. You know what I mean? They see me as an Avenger. I'm the Hulk to them. So for me not to be the Hulk was heartbreaking to me. And for them to be so far away, because I don't know if you know, Atlanta's a big city, man. Like they go to school in one county and live in another county now because of me. Because
we were just saying there, it's for me, it's hard to fathom how big like Atlanta. So I mean, America's so big compared to the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, you're. I don't know. I'll have a look afterwards, but I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta is bigger than the whole, like the county that I live in, which we class as a big county in the UK. Do you know what I mean? But America, I don't get it, but I do get it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then you got to factor in traffic, and my girl she got her a truck, but she's putting 600 miles a week on it, and I'm kind of like a burden. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need this, I need that. She gives it to me, and then something else happens, and so I got to ask her again, and then something else happens. So I'm like another fucking kid. You know what I mean? To me, can I curse?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like another kid, man. I feel like I'm a burden on her. So now without me, it'll be okay. So I'm at Walmart. The truck didn't start. I am reduced to a baby, man. Like I'm feeling like such a failure.
It's that one thing, isn't it? That one thing, that truck not starting.
That one thing triggered a mental breakdown, man. That one thing triggered a mental breakdown. And I started texting my girl. Now I called my girl. I called her. She answered, "Hey, I'm at work. I can't talk right now. My manager's here." And she hung up. So that was one avenue. I called my friend. His phone went straight to voicemail. I called my other friend. His phone went straight to voicemail. I called my other friend. His phone kept ringing. I just started thinking about all the things I've done wrong. Anytime I was supposed to take it, I made it right. Anytime I made a left, I was supposed to take it right. It just felt like bricks were just piling and piling on. And I was just better off not here. I was better off not being a burden. And for me to be the way I am, hell, I loaded my pistol, man. Like I carry my pistol with me in my truck. I chambered around. I'm in Walmart's lot, in the auto lot. And I'm sitting in the grass crying, bro. Like I'm blubbering. Like I'm like, man, I'm nothing. I've been reduced to zero. And I have the gun in my lap. And I'm thinking, do I really want to do this? Like I got one in the chamber, man. Like I'm hoping somebody rides by and calls the police so that the police can do it. You know what I mean? 'Cause maybe insurance will pay. I don't think insurance will pay if I eat a bullet myself. You know, I need my kids to be.
What do you mean insurance will pay for? What will it pay for?
Well, I have life insurance.
Oh, okay, I've got you. Yeah. Got you.
I have life insurance, but if the cause of death is actually suicide, I don't think they'll pay the policy.
No.
So I'm thinking about all this. I'm thinking if I blow my head off, will it be an open casket or a closed one? You know, I'm thinking if I shoot myself in the chest, I may survive. Now I'm in the hospital looking like a fucking idiot. You know, trying to end it all. I'm thinking maybe I should just shoot a couple of shots in the air, have the police come and take care of me. You know what I mean? Because you know police are really quick to shoot me if I got a gun.
Hey, your police over there are just weird. I mean, I'm glad.
Yeah,
like
they are trigger happy here.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring if the police shoot me, maybe the life insurance will pay. So all this is going through my head. I got my sweet tea here. Like I love sweet tea. So I thought about it. I said, well, hell, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go on Walmart and get a sweet tea, man, because it's gonna be my last taste of a sweet tea. So I went in Walmart, bought a tea, came back out. I put my gun on me and walked in Walmart. Came back out, took the gun out. For hours I was thinking, man, how is this gonna go? Like I actually thought about pulling the trigger, but then I kind of snapped back to it. Like I can't leave my kids like this.
No.
I can't. Like I can't be sprawled out, brain splattered in Walmart's parking lot. And I didn't say bye to my 7-year-old. He doesn't have a phone. You know what I mean? My 13-year-old does. I shot him a text, man, I love you, son. I made a goodbye video, Ricky. Like I made a video saying, I love my kids. This ain't your fault, blah, blah, blah. But I knew if I sent that, I would have to continue. I would have to actually follow through with what I wanted to follow through with what the plan was. I would have to eat a bullet. So I didn't send the video. And I thought my 7-year-old his personality is that of a sensitive kid. You know what I mean? He's a genius. He's smart. He'll start a conversation with you. He's the type that'll run up. He'll give you a hug just because he knows something is wrong with you. My 13-year-old ain't that. He into the Instagram and Snapchat, TikTok. You leave him alone to his own devices, he's going to hold everything in. He's the exact opposite. For me not to say bye to my 7-year-old would have ruined his life. I would have ruined his life if I took my own. And I would not be able to that way. So all this time I'm texting my girl and she like, no, don't leave me with these kids. Like, no, you can't do this. I do this and that. I keep it moving. I keep it pushing. You should be able to too. And I'm taking this into consideration. And for 4 hours, Ricky, I was in that lot crying, man. Sitting in the grass, walking back and forth to the truck, sitting back in the grass, people walking by. I ran into 2 people I knew. They had no idea what I was going through. They had no idea. That day, when I walked back in, I ran into my homeboy to get the sweet tea. He said, what's up? I gave him that, gave him a hug, you know what I mean? And I walked back out. Everything was cool in his mind. But outside, I was a fucking mess, man. I was a mess. And so my girl had to work a double shift, but she knew where I was at because I was texting her. And all of a sudden, she pulled up on me in her truck. And she took my gun. Put the safety on because I took the safety off, man. My finger was on the trigger. She put the safety on and put the gun in her truck, and she gave me the longest hug that I need. Like I needed that. I needed that hug. So she made everything better that day, and so I decided against doing it because I didn't want it to end like that. Children were the reason why I didn't do it. First, my children were the reason why I was going to do it. Then my children became the reason why I didn't do it, because I didn't want to leave them thinking, oh, it was our fault. He's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just jump in quickly and just say, I mean, their children. My mum committed suicide, and she did that when I was 24. Do you know what I mean? And it's something that even as an adult, I mean, I'm 44 now. I would say I've only just started being able to talk about it over the last couple of years. It's taken me 18 years. I mean, I functioned as a human being, but then again, I fell into alcoholism. I've only just sort of got to grips with that. But just the grief in general and dealing with that kind of thing and the sadness that it brings, knowing that that's how your parent went. It's took me 18 years pretty much to get over it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for your children, it 100% it would have been worse. So.
Yeah, a 7-year-old would have been fucked up, man.
Yeah.
And I did not. Yeah, he's already got enough obstacles at being black in America. He's already got enough fucking obstacles. So, not too many kids can say my dad committed suicide, on this side, because we have been, let me go back too, because my dad is Jamaican.
Yeah.
He was Jamaican. He was murdered he was murdered in 2016. He was murdered in Jamaica. Execution style, I guess. I don't know. That kind of fucked me up too, because we were estranged.
It's rough in Jamaica, man. We've got Jamaican culture in the UK down the south. It's rough in Jamaica, man.
Yeah, it ain't all fucking dolphins and fucking, ships sailing in blue seas, in casinos. It's definitely gangland down. It's definitely a third world country.
Yeah,
if you don't have money, you're done. So he got killed by a gang because he witnessed the murder, and he went and talked to the police. Of course, the police are corrupt, so he got killed. But I didn't want to leave my kids fatherless like my dad kind of left me, because I hadn't seen my dad since 1995. I hadn't seen him. It was 20 years before he was dead, and I still hadn't seen it. So I didn't want to do that. But I say that to say, growing up, suicide was like a taboo. Yeah. Nobody talked about that. Like, you were weak, you were a bitch. You know what I mean? If you suicide, you were a coward, a bitch, all kind of whatever. In our community, suicide is not talked about. It's not. Mental health is not talked about. If you are saying y'all got mental problems, people walking the other way, man, because they think, this motherfucker weird. He about to kill everybody, or he's weak, or he's a coward, And so in my family, that's just not something you let them know, because I am a strong believer that a lot of us that are like me, black, we born with PTSD, man. Like, we see things and react different than other people. We see suicide, or it's like a buzzword. You don't talk about it. Whereas other people, they can talk about it amongst their family. You know what I mean? Robin Williams committed suicide. He was rich. You know what I mean? He made everybody else laugh. And I'm like, what the, back then I was like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, you rich as hell. Like, what is going on, man? But that day, August 11th, I knew exactly how he felt.
Yeah.
I knew exactly how he felt. Like, he was battling that for a long time. And I'm just now starting to battle it. So for a long time he was, and we can't talk about it amongst ourselves because we are conditioned to hold that shit in. We're conditioned from the slave ships, to me. Our wives getting sold, beat, raped, children getting sold, beat, raped, and we can't do nothing about it. Like, we got to hold all that shit in. We have nobody to go to when it comes to that. So me being an alpha male that I am, and me being the kind of guy that I am, I felt like I can't talk to nobody about this shit. Like, what I look like coming to my girl saying, hey man, I'm mentally unfit. You know what I mean? Then what is she gonna think? What is my mom gonna think? What are my cousins gonna think? What are my kids gonna think? What are my friends gonna think? I don't want to say afraid, but I was apprehensive about telling people about that July. Telling people about that August. I was apprehensive about it. But when I put that online, I did it because people wouldn't expect that.
No,
There's
not
no
at all.
way in hell. There's no way in hell you expected me that video to be like that. So I put it up to say if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. It can happen to this guy. It can happen to that guy. But there were red flags along the way that had I talked to somebody,
Yeah.
I would have never reached that point. So I say that to say if everybody, if the red flags are there, the first red flag, whenever you feel like, man, I'm about to lose it, pick up the phone and talk to somebody. It's not embarrassing. It's not bad. It's not to be looked down upon, man, because these same people are the people that are gonna be at your fucking funeral, if you do this shit. And since I put the video out, man, I had a bunch of missed calls. I had not only you reach out, I had other people reach out that I've never met, never talked to in person. I had people in the We the People group, Kurt, Ken, Steven Snap, Beth. I had all of them reach out. Hey, man, look, if you need to unwind, I'll pay for you a plane ticket. You come out here for a couple of days. I got a room for you. We can do this, that. Need somebody to talk to, call me. Like I had an unlimited amount of love that I didn't know I had.
You know what? I think that's as well, because even though you're saying people don't tend to talk about it, but when people are willing to talk about it, they find out that we all sort of get it. We all understand. You know what I mean? Because like the stats are there for a reason. The reason that suicide is such a problem amongst men is because all the stuff you were talking about, the demand to, as much as we've moved on and women have got the careers and everything now, there still is that sort of pressure, I think, anyway, this is just my opinion, there's still that pressure that we're supposed to put the money on the table, we're supposed to supply the food, we're supposed to get the bills paid, do you know what I mean? And when it's not going right, especially for yourself, I think it probably is a bit different when you're running your own businesses, do you know what I mean? Because you're relying solely on yourself. So when it's not working out, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. And I think when you do put it out there, I think you find that a lot of other people are like, we kind of get it. We do get that life being an adult is hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, man. I have people reaching out. Look, don't you ever do that shit again, man. I'm here. Like I went through this too. And I'm like, I never would have known if these people didn't tell me. Half of the men I talked to either thought about suicide, or were on the brink of actual suicide, like me. I had a friend of mine say, shit, on this, in 2019, I was on the back porch with my 45 loaded. Like the same thing I was doing, he was doing, and I never knew until he talked to me that day.
Yeah.
Never knew. I had another guy say, I actually slit my wrists. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't work. I didn't do it enough. And so I just wrapped him back up, and that was that. I was like, man, I never knew, like, these guys are close to me, and I never knew that they were going through this because they didn't reach out the way I did.
And there's a thing with the difference between men and women as well. I spoke to my doctors about this. It was a completely different subject, but the subject of my mum came up. And the doctor on my ship, because obviously I'm in the Royal Navy, so we've got our own medical department and everything, he was explaining to me that men, because of the way our brains work, we make snapshot decisions. So when it's all too much, like, with your truck not starting, that's the final thing. And then men tend to kill themselves very suddenly with a sort of a shocking way to do it. So shoot themselves, jump off a bridge, something that just ends it really quickly, very suddenly. Whereas women tend to sit on it and they take overdoses and they write notes and things like that, whereas a lot of men don't. So the reason why, it might be a reason why it's so high amongst men, is because they make that decision. And in America, you've got access to guns, which, we don't have. But, again, it probably sort of makes a difference with how easy it is to do once every too much. And just, that truck thing sticks in my mind, that it's that one little thing that you just think, fuck it, man, I've had enough. Do you know what I mean?
Man. I had just fixed the damn truck 2 days before. I had just bought a battery. That was $200. I had just bought a starter. That was $200. Like, I'm down $400, and my girl got to feed the kids. Like, I'm not the one feeding them that day, and so days later, when it didn't start again, I was like, man, fuck this world. Like it's over. A couple of days ago, my truck still, I'm working on it right now. The starter burned out again. I just put the starter on today and it still won't start. So now I'm going through the motions. I'm getting the battery. It's not as bad as it was August 11th, but I was like, yo, today is not the day to fuck with me. Like, I'm walking through the woods. I'm walking by the woods, and I'm thinking if a bear jump out of these woods, that bear gonna have a bad fucking day. Because I'm gonna fuck that bear up.
You know, on August the 11th, before that truck didn't start, when you woke up in the morning, was there any kind of suicidal thoughts, or had there been any kind of suicidal thoughts until the truck didn't start? So was it something that was there in the background, or did it just truck didn't start and that's it?
There were no suicidal thoughts before that moment at Walmart. There were none. I just felt like, even in all the L's, even though things didn't go the way they were supposed to go previously, I always thought it was light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna make it out. I always do. I've gone through worse in life, and I've never considered taking my own life ever before that moment. At that very moment, I felt like it was rock bottom. This truck is something that, some nights I sleep in the back seat because I'm not going all the way down to McDonough, to go to my girl's parents' house, and then I got to explain to them why I'm less of a man because I ain't got my own spot right now. You know what I mean? So this truck sometimes was where I rested my head. And so when it didn't start, I feel like it was over. Like there's no worse thing that can happen. Now I am better off dead at this point in time. If I have wheels, I'm good. I mean, nothing that can stop me. I can always go make money. I can always eat. I can always put gas in it. I can always take my girl out. I can always take my kids out if I have wheels. But that moment the truck didn't start and I had just repaired it, that meant I didn't know what was wrong with it. So I'm thinking it's going to be a, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 problem that somebody's going to have to look at. I don't have it. And so it's just better to not be here than to be the example of failure. Because my kids ain't going to understand, daddy truck ain't running, so, they don't care. They don't give a fuck about that. All they care is that daddy is here and we getting clothes and food and all that. I feel like I couldn't provide any of that.
Yeah. But, I mean, you could argue that there's no greater failure. And there's no greater example of failure. You know what I mean? You're just breaking up a little bit there. But yeah, there's no greater example of failure than ending it, kind of thing. I'm not saying that people are failures, but I'm just saying for your kids, you're better off here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are better off here. And also kids, like what you were saying, you're fucking Superman to your kids, and kids don't really see any different, and they don't realize what's going on behind the scenes. All they know is that you're their dad and you're Superman. Do you know what I mean? And
that's it, man. So, I thought about all that. I had friends. One thing, two friends stuck out to me. One was like, you cannot have a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yeah.
Like that was once a bullet is in your brain, that's permanent. That's you're done. Like this is something that you can overcome, but you didn't think you could. And the problem's temporary. As long as you're living and you're here for kids, you're good. Another guy said, never surrender. Like surrender is not an option. You cannot let this life, and of course a lot of people brought Christianity into, I'm not really a Christian, man. Like I believe in a higher power, but that Bible, that's just not me. You know what I mean? But a lot of people were, God, Jesus, and it's a bigger plan for you and all that. Yeah, I hear you. But
that's an American thing.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm more a logic guy. You know what I mean? Show me, tell me something tangible that I can latch on to and take. Tell me something I can pass to my kids. You know what I mean? So when people are saying these things, it has me thinking. Man, that would have been
It's breaking up again. 2 seconds.
She pulled $1,000 out of her pocket, man, that I didn't know she had. And she was like, look, we're gonna rent you a truck for the week. Get a hotel room, wind down, chill out. That's that. We reserved some trucks, went to the car rental place. They said, oh, we don't have any cars. Went to the next car rental place. We don't have any cars. I said, you know what, fuck it, man. Just take me back to the truck. I'll figure it out, man. I'm about to go drink a bottle or something because I earned that shit that day. And so got back to the truck at Walmart. It had to be about 5 o'clock. I said, you know what, man? Let me stick this key in this shit one more time. And Ricky, that shit fired right up. Truck started right up, man. Inexplicably started up, man. I was like, man, I would have ate a bullet for nothing. Like they would have came to get this truck without a tow truck. They would have fired this shit up and I would have been wherever I was in the afterlife mad as fuck.
Nobody would have known as well if the truck started up.
Man.
Nobody would have known. They would have just thought that you just pulled up your truck, went in Walmart, and then just walked outside and shot yourself.
Right, just decided to off myself. But that big motherfucker started up, man. I was like, oh my God, man. Jesus, like, what is the test? Like, what else? Who is testing me, man? Like, what other test do I have to pass to get?
You just broke up again. See if you come back.
Not, I would just jumped off the fucking bridge, man. Like that's how.
We just missed a massive chunk of you there. It just froze. But you were saying like you got to like what is the task, and then
yeah,
and then it froze.
I said if it was a bridge, if it wasn't a gun, I probably would have jumped off the bridge.
Yeah,
that's quick. It's easy. You can see my body. You know, it is what it is. But I'm just glad it did not reach that point because I thought about my kids. And then I thought, shit, I'm a strong motherfucker, man. Like if this shit could happen to me right in this moment with no previous thoughts, it could happen to anybody. Anybody. So I felt like I needed to get the message out. And then everybody started saying, hey, man, you might have saved somebody's life with that. Like you coming now.
Yeah. I'm really like I'm grateful that you agreed to come on because like I said we've already said that we're going to do stuff about mental health and the guy that I do these with he was a heroin addict living on the street. He tried to commit suicide. I've never got that low, but there's been some low points in my life and I think everybody's sort of understanding now with the mental health thing, and I mean there's two ways of looking at it. There are some people that mental health's everything. Do you know what I mean? It maybe gets used as an excuse, but I think people are getting that. It is important, and a lot of people fall by the wayside because they're not looking after, what's up top, and that whole just talking to people. I think as well, men are getting better at talking to each other, and just checking up on each other. Like you said that people are checking up on you. People, me and my friends, we talk to each other now. It's not like it used to be where you just say, oh, you're okay. Actually, when we're not okay, we do say to each other, I'm fucking miserable, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Just being able to say that, just being able to say, no, actually, I'm not okay. Like, I'm pretty miserable at the moment. I've got loads of stuff going on. I'm swamped. And a lot of the time, it's a cliche, but just actually talking about it makes you feel better and makes you take stock of it and realize that there is like what you said, there's a solution. These are temporary problems usually, and there are solutions to them. You've just got to keep going. So where are you at now? Where are you at up top now? You all good?
I'm good now. Because the truck shit happened again, like I said a couple of days ago, and I'm here. The thought never crossed my mind. I just knew.
Has that made you more I don't know what the word is, like, more you're more aware that you
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. My August 11th episode made me more aware that shit, I got people I can talk to now. You know what I mean? Like before I didn't feel like I did, even though I probably could have, but shit, like I said before, when I got to talking to my friends, shit happened to them too, and they didn't make a video. You know what I mean? Had they made a video, I probably wouldn't have hit that bottom on August 11th. You know what I mean? So I made my video and I'm like, everybody reaching out. I got a chance to talk to a bunch of people, and I really can't feel that way again. Like, I know I have a support system, and I know I'm not a burden. I know that I have a bunch of love. Like, I still got people now inboxing me asking, "Hey, are you good?" They sending me, inspirational videos. Before they weren't doing all that, so it kind of keeps me up out of that headspace. You know what I mean? So there's really nothing that can happen as long as I'm breathing and eating. You know what I mean? That would have me back to that point again.
Cooking as well, man. I've seen your food that you cook.
Oh yeah, I can get down now. I can get down.
Man,
I put a pause on it.
I've seen the stuff you cook. It looks decent.
Oh yeah. I'm a foodie, man. I love food, man. I would have.
So one day, mate, I might make it there. You never know. If I do,
oh, you'll be over here. You coming? I can feel it. You skip across the pond.
I don't know, mate. I've been a naughty boy in the past, and I know America's quite tight with letting you in. So, but yeah, you're not all good, but you're better now, and you're sort of more aware that you have to pay attention to everything that's going on. So yeah, cheers for coming on. I mean, technically, this means that we've now got an international podcast in my mind. So
yes, you're right.
So
glad to be a part of that, man.
And yeah, I mean, it just shows though, doesn't it? That, America and the UK, we ain't that different, especially amongst the men kind of thing. And yeah, cheers for coming on. I think that just listening to your story is going to help other people, because it's a tough world out there, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
Jesus Christ.
It's a tough world, and we've got to get through it somehow. Because I'm not really a religious person. I think we only get one life, and it's as I've got to, you're 40, I'm 44. It seems very quick all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not here for long in the grand scheme of things. We are here for a nanosecond. So I think life's really precious, and we've got to really do our very best to make sure that we can enjoy as much as we can being here, because everything's trying to kill us.
Everything is real easy to die, but it ain't easy to live.
Yeah, it's really easy to die. My thing that I say is, I hear people saying, "Oh, you only live once," and my way of thinking is actually, you only die once. Yeah, you live every single day that you wake up and you open your eyes, but once you're dead, that's it. It's gone, and it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, thank you for coming on. And we will tag you in and stuff, and do you know what I mean? Let you get it out there to.
Let me know. Anytime you need me, man, I am here, especially for this.
Mate, that's
let
it.
Me know.
You can be our regular American. What's the word that I'm looking for? Like reporter.
Yeah, correspondent.
That's it. That's a correspondent. You're now our regular American correspondent on all things from the outside looking in podcast channel. Sound.